Okay, all right. Another thing that also we will need to begin to look at, for Nigerian space is that you mentioned it just now, the question that we have celebrated 100 years as a nation, though a number of people are still of the opinion that Chief Obafemi Awólọ́wọ́'s statement that we are just a geographical expression would seem to be valid, because we are not 100 years down the line, we are still yet to be coherent, we are still yet to be seen as one. We don't think Nigeria, we always think first of our ethnic or our religious positions. So how do you react to that?
Well, I would also say it will have been a lot better for Nigeria if the three regions have been separated. A lot. The reason is that Southwest, for me, will have grown so much. The North should have purely been in their way of doing things. The Southeast can find their way anywhere. The people in the Southeast can find, or the South can find, you see, but having brought us together is not by accident. I believe God wants us to know something. No nation evolved in a single day. So all this trouble is to help us know our difficulties. We can overcome them. Once we overcome them, we start enjoying the plurality of what we have is better than individual. One head is better than two. So, but then the trouble is that one will be pulling one down, and the Yoruba will say, somebody you will not have to go with.
Yes.
You have to go at his own space.
Yes.
So we have to look at where is our slowing down. Let's push a lot of us into that slowing down, so that if we are not going too fast here, and we use not the resources there to elevate the other side, so
the
that
momentum can be equal.
Fine, and then we can be able to have peace, and then to go forward. But only when we have good leadership.
Now, we are back to good leadership. Good leadership cannot be in absence of good followership.
Yes.
We have had guests here who have said that the bane of the poor leadership in Nigeria is because our followers themselves are, besides the question of poverty, they are also actually uninformed, and they are not taking their positions, correctly, to ask questions or to point leaders in the right directions. Would you be involved, as it were, in helping to educate or to enlighten, the followers, the electorates, the citizenry, on how to actually question or point leaders in the right direction? Would you be involved in doing anything like that?
That is what we are doing right now in our group, and that we as followers must insist on what we desire and we need to have. No money should buy us. If they give you money, please take it. It's from our treasury. It's our money that they stole. Don't say thank you for that money, because it's part of what they deny you about.
Yes.
Take the money, but still do according to your conscience. Do what you believe in. If the leaders know that if they come back, they will not have our vote, if they don't do what we want, they will redress. But the system of voting is a trouble. Some people vote this way, and the result is the other way. There's a situation in this Lagos state where they said, this is the person we want. Party gave him. The person said, no, I don't want. This is the person I want. And it's okay. If that is the case, we'll vote the way we want. And the people had massively protest vote and bring somebody else. But lo and behold, it is not that person that was announced.
Now, so how do we now get the followers or the electorates to also be able to correct that, to be in a position to say, okay, look, if these are the votes, or if these were the interests of the electorate, how can they correct such anomalies?
The problem is that nobody is ready to die. Because when they announce a different kind of thing and you revote, you all come out, but whoever led that revolution must be ready to lose his life. That's Nigeria, and nobody is ready to do that. And once somebody is not ready to die like Jesus died, he will be in trouble.
So
Liberation.
That means the situation will continue. The status quo will remain.
Our leaders must be very careful. We are coming to the edge now. Unemployed are becoming so much now that just ignite a fire, it may consume all. And that's why the leaders must ensure that when the followership takes over, it will be baboon republic, and that should not be allowed. Should not be allowed. So that we would give the followers what they deserve, give them enough training, give them, and that is what we are trying to do in various wards, constituencies, and local
Going
government.
to
Educate people. We do seminars, voters education in most of the local government here in Lagos, trying to let them know your rights, stand up to it, declare it, say it loud. Those in government, they will listen when you are strong. They know that they are being there to you. But when you are strong, but when they see you being strong and they give you 10 naira, you keep quiet, they think it's money you need, because that's why you are shouting. So they give you part of the money and you kept quiet. Then there can be no result.
Now, the dividing line here now is a little bit faint. If the political leaders come to bribe the electorate during voting time, I mean, they are free to take such largesse, as it were, since it's been stolen, repeatedly. So, but how will the electorate know at what point to collect and keep quiet, or to collect and not keep quiet?
Usually, no politician can bribe everybody in any constituency, because the number of people coming to vote are more than those he can bribe. What he could do is go to the head of the place, go to some key leaders and try and buy
them out.
But on the day of election, you will see people queuing and somebody is there giving out money. Please take the money, pocket it, but vote according to your conscience. You are at liberty. You are at liberty. I think this should be a major sum, because if you don't take the money and you are known around and they lose, they say you are the one. And they win,
yes,
and you don't vote for them, they don't, even if you vote there, you don't take their money, they'll be thinking that you are doing otherwise. This is where the trouble is. But we'll advise electorate, if anybody does that, first they should report the person. But even if you report to the police, are you sure the police is not
take action?
It's not even part of the system. Haven't they been settled? That's the trouble, And this is where we need Christians. We need people that are seeking for God's place, people that want to live Christ's life in position, key position in such places. Money will not be their interest. Service, dying for self, giving service to people will be the hallmark of their life, and they are not bothered about amassing wealth, because it's not here they want to use it. It's in heaven.
Now, that again brings to the table the question of shouldn't political leaders also be educated? Shouldn't they also be trained? I mean, in other professions, we know that people need some kind of tutelage, pupillage, training, reorientation before you can begin. I mean, you cannot be a medical doctor unless you have been trained.
Yes.
But politicians don't seem to have any training.
It is the system in Nigeria, because we don't bother what is your academic or your
professional.
Your take before we vote for you. It is what you have. In a community, for instance, someone has been there taking care of everybody. Yes, when you need him, you find him. When he does that, you won't find out whether he go to school at all. And when there is need for representation, this one should go for us, because the day we need him is there. So, is the issue of representation? Yes, a lot of people go to school to go and earn certificate. It does not mean that they will do well when they get there. Political science are there. Put them, they are also robbers, and they don't. It is the innate value in one's life and what one is seeking after in life that guides one's actions. And that is why you need Christ in your life to be able to let you live a life that is worthy, a life that will project him, and a life that will be useful to others.
Well, before we leave, we have yet another caller. We couldn't get a call, but he sent a text. He said, "Good morning, sir. As religious leaders, please, how can we inculcate the spirit of unity in our children instead of discriminating and against other religious whatever?"
Well, unity is what Jesus Christ, at his later time in life, prayed for. He said, God, that all may be one. John 17, verse 21. he wants everybody together. So I'm going to call particularly all parents to ensure, even when you are giving the gospel, if somebody has a different opinion from you, it does not mean that it's not acceptable unto God as such. That is his own way of he believes. But pray for him more. God himself will convict. It is the Holy Spirit that converts. It's not individual. You can't convert anybody. Pray more for him. You might discover that your prayer will work than your talk. And so himself will change without anybody talking to him. And that's the way it should be.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adegbolegun. Thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure having you on the Close Flow for this Good Friday. We do hope that the injunction of Christ, on the cross for this day would permit what we have shared here. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Very, very grateful for the invitation.